are you choosing that metric, that one thing that you measure best with, intentionally? And how's it working out for you? Hey everybody, Bryan Zevotek here, and so this summer I have been taking advantage of my daughter being home with me, and we do these things that I call DADventures, right? So it's just her and I, she's 3 years old, and we go out on sometimes errands and sometimes really cool trips, hikes, waterfalls, whatever, right? So as we're driving along, because she's 3, she's in this car seat, and it's right in the middle of my back seat of my truck, and she can pretty much see everything. So as we're driving along, whether it's just her and I or the whole family, every time we come to a stop sign, she will say something like, I want to go that way. And she might say right, left, straight. Okay, so one day a couple of weeks ago, we're on our way to get like some last minute ingredient for dinner, and we go to this one stop sign that we basically always go to when we're headed into town. And so we get to the stop sign, I put my left blinker on, I'm only a couple miles from the store, and she goes, hey Dad, I want to go right. And I said, you know, with my adult brain that's obviously way more mature and knows the truth, I said, well honey, that way doesn't get us to where we want to go. Right at that moment, I realized I was lying pants. That's the technical term, of course, because the truth of the matter is I could get to where I was going that way. It just wasn't the fastest, easiest, most familiar way to get where I wanted to go, and it might have taken longer and gone a different way, but we would have eventually gotten there. So quick little sidebar here. My point is not the most obvious thing, which is some people go through life without really having a destination or a plan in mind, and so they wonder why none of their experiences add up to anything purposeful, powerful throughout any period of time in their life, because they don't have, you know, maybe a vision or plan or a dream for themselves, and therefore they didn't set a course to get there. But the opposite is the one that really hit me in the face in that moment, which was this, that some of us have that plan so rigid in our minds that we can't actually entertain going a different way. Now, that way that my daughter wanted to go really would have only taken me maybe 5 minutes longer, but there are horses that way. That way also has a giant black cutout, life-size, I guess, of a Sasquatch hidden behind the mailbox of somebody's house. Kind of funny. That way also has this guy who has a bunch of heavy machinery, and my daughter's 3, and so seeing big machines is really pretty cool. And that way goes across a bridge near a waterfall, and we would eventually get to where we wanted to go, but it would kind of be a roundabout way. And maybe that's the reason she wanted to go that way, or maybe it's just because we never do, and she, in this 3-year-old mindset, wanted adventure and didn't care at all about how long it took to get where we were going. And see, that's probably the point. And you'll pick up on this on all of my videos, this idea of slowing down and thinking about being intentional, purposeful, and open to changes like that. You see, we kind of wear a track in life, and you go the same way every time. When I go to work, there are 2 ways that I go. And because it's my job and it's first thing in the morning, I don't want to be late because I kind of like my job, right? So for the most part, I go to the end of my driveway and I turn left, and that's the fastest way to get to my job. There is a Dunkin' Donuts going the other way, and so if I turn right, I end up going over the crest of this hill with the most amazing view of the sunrise. And at certain times of the year when the sun is coming up on my way to work, it's just astounding. Now, I chose to go that way to get a coffee, but I benefit in other ways because of that decision. And it's maybe a minute further, except for Dunkin', which takes forever. Fix it, Mr. and Mrs. Duncan. But really, the thing is, we use one metric most of the time to decide what course is best. I love air quotes, by the way. And the point that I want to make is that metric really the way we want to measure what's best for us in the long run? See, one way of measuring, whether it's time, whether it's money. If I'm a teenager going somewhere, I'm definitely picking the shortest route, especially if I'm paying my own gas, right? But sometimes what's cheaper or what's fastest isn't what's best for us. Maybe by choosing an alternative path, you have different scenery, you have different experiences. Maybe you avoid certain pain or encounter different joy. Maybe there are people along that path who have a different set of values and they end up feeding into you. See, a friend of mine is a really successful author, and we were talking about storytelling one time, and he said storytelling is really simple. It's basically once upon a time, but one day, because of that, because of that, because of that. And any story starts this way, that you have this ordinary world, right? So once upon a time, there was a man driving a car with a 3-year-old, and he came to a stop sign. But one day, he chose to go to the right. And because of that, and if you actually think of, I don't know if it ruins every story for you, but every story you've ever read, every movie you've ever seen, basically what I'm getting at is you are designing your future life based on your present choices. And if those present choices that you're making over and over and over are actually for the wrong reasons, or for a set of values that aren't the most valuable thing for you, you're probably missing out on some joy in life, maybe some purpose, some impact, or just an experience with certain people because of the choices you routinely make. So I guess the point that I want to make today, and what I would ask you guys to do, is to take a step back from your life. And I'm not talking about going to the grocery store, taking the long way home in the words of Supertramp. I really want to ask you about what you're doing on a routine basis, whether that's a relationship, whether that's a job, whether it's a mindset, and just think, what is the single metric that you're using to measure, to make that choice the best in your mind? And actually, is it the best? A great way to maybe think about this is, how is your current life going? If you look at where you're headed, is that destination with the current experiences what you want? And if it's not, it is never too late to make a change. It's never too late to take a different turn, to see where it leads, to find different scenery or whatever it might be, to engage different people and have a different outcome. You know, I think we all know that famous quote about insanity, right? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. The problem with it is we don't actually realize all of the freedom that we could have in choices each and every day of our lives. We look at things very routinely. We don't realize that when we get to the stop sign, we have a choice. I think if we took a step back and we actually thought about all of the different things that influence our life, whether it's our relationship, our job, what we read, how much sleep we get, our energy, our diet, our exercise, whatever it might be, and then think about whether those things can be chosen to be different. Is there another path? Is there a different mindset? Is there a different job? Is there a different diet? Is there a different sleep schedule? Is there a different thought pattern? Is there a different way that you can engage with somebody that you love so that you are not on edge all the time? And I think that we'll find out that there's almost infinite possibilities for how to do life on this planet. And the one that we've defaulted to may be the easiest, maybe the fastest, maybe the cheapest, I don't know. But are you choosing that metric, that one thing that you measure best with, intentionally? And how's it working out for you? So hey, I hope that is encouraging for you. I would love to know what you uncover when you take some time to think about this. Share this video with somebody you think could benefit from it, and I look forward to engaging in the comments. See ya.